The Royal Recruits are a 7 elixir ground troop, and their evolution counterpart are capable of dashing after a certain bit of distance. The reason why they're on here is because I don't know. People just keep saying they're broken and that they need to be nerfed and all that. I personally don't see it. I just think they're stronger guards. I honestly, the way I counted them, I just play giant skeleton in the middle, and they all just go to the giant skeleton. But they can be annoying. They're often paired with very annoying cards like E-Golem, Mega Knight. Yeah, Mega Knight a lot. Mega Knight's very versatile. He gets put in a lot of decks. You see him a lot with Recruit. You see the recruits with recruits. You see recruits a lot with Royal Hogs and Zappies and all that. They're just annoying. They're fireball bait. They're very annoying. Anyways, sorry about the sudden cuts. I'm recording this on my phone. I can't really do much about it. Anyways, the Firecracker is a 3 elixir ranged unit capable of shooting a large bullet, which will split off into 5 smaller bullets. The Evo Firecracker is the topic I want to talk here. Capable of doing large amounts of damage with their sparks, which is the gimmick of the Firecracker. When the rocket hits and the sparks fly, all that stuff. I just think this card gets too much value. That's really it. She's just so annoying. And the fact that she's able to dodge spells, oh my god. And I can say, oh, just play your arrows right. That's my response to that. But like, in all seriousness, this Evo is actually stupid sometimes. The value this thing gets is ridiculous. And I know you can, play your arrows, but the thing is, it's often paired in bait, and sometimes you don't have a solution to it, so sometimes it just sits there and keeps sparking on the tower, and it keeps doing massive damage. And you know what else is massive? I'm going to skip to the next one before I say it. Evolution Dark Goblin specifically is the topic of this. A Dark Goblin is a ranged unit, 3 elixir, he dies to log, all that stuff. But this stupid card gets way too much value for 3 elixir, and I know it's an evolution and all that, and it basically can be set for what I said about Firecracker, but the poison damage is obscene. He's just able to just wilt away all your units just like that, and if you don't kill him in time, like, soon your entire push would be dead because of the poison trail. He's, what's the best way to say? He's too strong. I feel like he's too strong. He hits from way too far away, and he's always a nuisance to deal with, and he's often paired with cards that you have to address, so you can't address him. It's mind-numbing fighting against him. Yeah, there's not much to say here. I just hate the Hog Rider. It feels like he's just guaranteed damage every time someone plays him. For those who don't know, Hog Rider's a 4 elixir troop. He targets only buildings, and he hits pretty fair damage every shot. He's super fast, and he's basically everywhere. There's a whole archetype around him. Hog 2.6, you hear that? Yeah, I fight that every day. It's annoying. Play a different deck. But anyways, yeah, Hog Rider, he just feels like he's guaranteed damage. And I personally don't like that. The Void is a 3 elixir spell that shoots a lightning bolt, and depending on how many troops are within its radius, it will shoot multiple lightning bolts, but the damage will decrease with each lightning bolt shot. So, like, say there's like 1 troop there, it'll hit max damage. If there's more troops there, it'll hit not as much damage. Why is here? I don't know, the card's garbage. it's actually one of the worst spells in the game. But I guess that doesn't answer the question of why it's on this list, does it? Well, ever since his sudden buff, the Prince has been in almost every deck I've seen. He got a charge buff, which means he charges at a faster than he usually did. Now, like 1.5 tiles or something. What makes it so annoying is that charge hits massive damage and often counters a lot of things. You can play a Prince down and he'll most likely take out any sort of swarm you've got. Not swarm, any sort of like push you've got. Like, you play a giant, the Prince will just wipe out the giant. You play Mega Knight, the Prince will just wipe out the Mega Knight. He's a menace, a genuine menace. I don't know why they thought buffing him was a good idea. He didn't need a buff. I thought the Prince was fine the way he was. Now he's just actually disgusting. And it doesn't help that he has a really long range too because of his lance. So he's constantly hitting things for high damage at a consistent rate, and always able to dash pretty much anytime he wants. It's ridiculous how good this card is right now. Like, fix your game, Supercell. Don't get rid of chests. I want chests. I don't really like the new system at all. Like, come on, nerf the Prince. This card probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fact that there's barely any counters to it. Devo E-Drag, as you know, has an infinite lightning chain, so the chain will go on and hit every troop in a radius, as long as they're close enough anyways. This is very annoying because he kind of shreds any push that isn't just one troop, which is why I've played Giant Skeleton more and more, because the Death Bomb is very value against things like this, but like, really, there's not really much options you have against him. Like, there's lightning, but that's more elixir than he is. I suppose Void might actually be useful here, but he's often never alone, so like, there's a rare chance you're gonna catch him off guard for Void is really rare. There's Musketeer or Ewiz, I guess, but Ewiz requires you to actually like place it on top of him, and even then, he's probably just gonna shred both of them before they even get close. He's just incredibly, what's the best way to say it? Stupid. It's very stupid. Controversial take. I don't think the Mega Knight or his Evo variants are broken. I think the reason why people hate the Mega Knight is often because he's paired in decks that just suck to fight against. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot to be annoying. There's a lot to hate the Mega Knight for. He has high health, his spawn damage is ridiculous, his jump is ridiculous, and his Evo is incredibly broken on defense. It's like he basically shuts down many pushes on his own. But what makes this card hated, from what I've seen, is just because it's Mega Knight. But like, in all seriousness, he is strong. But I think his hatred comes from the fact that he's kind of versatile. He can take out large troops, he can knock back pushes, he can kind of do all these things. And you often see him paired with other broken cards like Prince and Firecracker. He's just a menace. He's a threat and a menace. And there's a reason why Supercell always makes him the villain in their animations. This might be another controversial take. I hate Cannon Cart. Like, this card just feels sometimes impossible to just take out. If you don't know, once the cannon cart dies, like the troop part, it turns into a normal cannon, which means it also pulls in building targeting troops, which isn't necessarily bad, but the issue with the cannon cart is it hits consistent damage rapidly fast. Honestly, it's ridiculous. If someone says skill issue for like the cannon cart part, I fully get that. Like, I'm not the best at this game, I know I'm not, but it just feels like it gets way too much value on the field. Like, you play a cannon cart at the back and just like, you just suddenly just sigh because you know you're gonna have to deal with a cannon cart now. It's ridiculous. I don't like this card. I don't like it at all. Dr. Goblinstein, and of course the Goblinstein's monster is probably what people would say is broken whenever they look at Supercell game right now. The Doctor is a ranged unit, the monster is a building targeting unit. Both fairly weak on their own, but when it comes to the ability, that's when people have their concerns. The ability, of course, is a lightning link, which connects to the two troops, and the Doctor activates it, which means you take out the Doctor, the ability doesn't work. But yeah, the Doctor activates the ability, and everything that's between the monster and the Doctor gets shredded by lightning. Thankfully, it doesn't stun. Thank God it doesn't stun. But it is still ridiculous how strong that ability is, even to this day. I don't think nerfing the monster is doing much, which I know they recently nerfed the monster again. But like, it's kind of just, yeah, it's really the ability. If the ability was nerfed, like, I don't think anyone would have issue with the Goblinstein. It's just kind of strong, really. He kind of shreds everything that's in between him and the monster. Sorry, I meant to say monster. But yeah, it's just strong. His ability is strong. I don't necessarily think the cards, like the cards as separate as they are, like the Doctor and the monster, like themselves are strong. But that ability is kind of ridiculous sometimes. Graveyard's on here purely because it's kind of guaranteed damage. Like, there's no solid counter to the Graveyard. Even with poison, Graveyard still gets hit sometimes. The only way you fully stop a Graveyard is you play something on top of it, and even then, it still gets hit because the spell surrounds the tower. I don't know, it's just a broken concept, rather. It's a good thing it's only skeletons, but like, still. I don't even really need to say anything for this card. This card is genuinely just broken. It's a broken gimmick. It's a broken concept. I don't know how it made it into the game. And a lot of people say, oh, just kite the ghost. It's not that bad. We'll just kite the lumberjack away. It's not that bad. The thing is, Whatever killed the lumberjack, the ghost is going to shred. If the lumberjack makes it close enough to the tower, the ghost is going to shred your tower. The ghost can't be killed. The ghost can be affected by spells, but it can't be killed. And are you really going to like tornado or like log an evil lumberjack ghost out of the rage spell so that it dies? Like, no, you're not. It's ridiculous how this is even in the game. Like, even now he's still busted. He's the ghost is even getting a damage buff because he's gonna get two cycle. He's gonna get a 2 cycle nerf, which isn't even that much because there's nothing stopping people from just cycling their lumberjacks. I don't know how this is still a card that exists within Clash Royale. This is generally the most broken thing they've ever released, and it's purely because of the ghost. The ghost is just stupid. The fact it's an unkillable troop, just wow. It wouldn't be a Clash Royale video without the obligatory nerf miner. Alright, that's the video, you can go now.